Welcome to a demonstration of the add-in for SPIT support product for SaaS software and contracts management. SPIT support is a full-featured IT help desk, asset management, and overall IT management product. We also have advanced add-ins that you can add to the base product for onboarding, offboarding of employees, MS Teams governance, and software license management. And this is really what we're going to be looking at today. So the way this works is that we add into the IT support product a vendors list, which then also connects to your IT assets list, which is part of the base product. And we add two new components, a list that keeps track of SaaS software description or subscriptions, and a contracts library. Now, each of these also has specific fields for things that might expire, warranties in relation to assets, subscriptions in relation to the software or SaaS service type things, and contracts, which you may have with service vendors, with hardware vendors, and so on. And this is actually a library that you actually track the contracts, and it tracks renewal dates or agreement expiration dates. Now, we've built in a flow that automatically runs every day and watches for two things. It watches for these dates to come up, and it sends a warning email 30 days in advance of these dates out to the owner of the asset and somebody in IT, and it sends a expiration email on the day that the subscription is due. So all of this helps you manage the different types of things that are going on, and more in companies, different employees, different business units, and so on are getting their own services and signing up for them. Now, one of the challenges is, how do you manage those? How do you make sure that you're not overpaying when people are paying for the same thing over and over, just don't know it across departments? So this is where we're seeing increasingly IT become involved in this, so that it optimizes the use of these services out there. So let's take a look at what this new add-in looks like in IT. Okay, I'm signed into my IT staff portal, and it looks like it's probably just like the staff portal you may be running out there. Now, what we've done is we have actually added under the IT resources menu 3 new lists: vendors, software SaaS management, and contracts. Now, the way this works, let's say that I'm going in, maybe it's somebody in your marketing department that has purchased Mailchimp as a standard thing, and it could be $2.99 a month. They could be paying it annually, whatever it might be. What you want them to do is to be able to send a service ticket in, letting you know that they've done that, so that you can talk to them and put the information in your software management database. So if we take a look at this, couple of things that we add here. First of all, in vendors, we've added in Mailchimp, and which we'll take a look at in just a minute. The second thing that we've added in here is the actual subscription. So this is the Mailchimp subscription, and this was actually done a while ago. You can see it's actually overdue, and we'll be looking at the emails for that. But we can put in the information, we can put in tags, purchase information, how it was paid for, the vendor website, software support website for the vendor, the user info, who is the owner of this subscription, and information about the license, what monthly subscription, how much it was, what is the renewal date here, so we can see that actually they bought it a year ago, quantity of users purchased, and so on as well. So we enter in this information, and now we can actually track it. So we can see this is actually a year later, and this is now overdue. We've gone past our date here. So we can see it is overdue. And what's happened is it's actually sent out emails to both the owner and the IT person assigned that's responsible for managing subscriptions. Let's take a look at what those reminders look like. The first reminder we got was a month ahead of time, and it was letting us know that Mailchimp was going to expire. And this was sent to both the owner of the subscription and somebody in IT. A second email was sent as well, letting them know it has expired out there. And in actuality, I think what happened here was they decided not to continue the subscription, so it was not renewed. So because of that, I can actually go in, I can either open up the record here or the item, or I can just go in and edit in the grid here, and I'll go in and put it as inactive and save. Now, in managing your subscriptions, it comes with a number of different views. We can view it by department, see what subscriptions each department has. We could do it by vendor as well out there, so we can see all the different vendors and the subscriptions. This certainly helps if you've got redundant subscriptions going on. We can see actually in a renewal calendar, what is due. Looks like we haven't got anything in April here, but or March here as well. And we can also go in and look at it by category and so on. So you have many different ways to do this. You can also add up the renewal amounts and see for each department, how much the renewals are and so on. So it gives you a good way to manage these subscriptions and make sure that you're not really having wasted subscriptions as well. And you may have some that are auto-renewing too that people don't know about. That happens a lot. Now, a second area that we also track with this is contracts. Especially IT, you have a lot of service contracts and those type of things that may come up for renewal. So here's, for instance, a Dell Support Services annual contract, and we can see that that's going to be coming up for renewal very soon here. In fact, we'll probably get an email tomorrow about that to remind us to do that as well. The other thing too is you can actually use this to get sign off on contracts. So I could go in and use Power Automate and request a sign off, or even set different reminders as well too. So this is configurable. The other thing too that I can look at these from is from the vendor perspective. And if we take a look at vendors like Dell, here is one of our vendors, we can go in and see across the vendor everything that is related to them. So we can see if there's any software management type things, if there's any contracts. I think we have a service contract with Dell. And then it also can connect into your IT assets, which is part of the base product, and show all assets from Dell and their status and their asset ID and so on. So this gives you a way to not just manage the subscriptions, but also bring that management across to your assets and your contracts as well. If you're an existing customer using IT support, SPIT support for SharePoint and Teams, and you're interested in upgrading to this add-in, go to spmarketplace.com and IT support and or hit the contact us to let your rep know that you're interested in this. If you're new to SP Marketplace, this is an add-in to our IT support product, which is a full-featured help desk and IT management product built on SharePoint and Teams.